Okay, we're live, but we're just going to wait for a little while. I'm about 30 minutes early, so we'll just wait for people to show up. We're not going to wait 30 minutes, but notifications should go out. Hi, CB. See, they're showing up. You're smart women. Hi, Wolf Princess. Amy. Hi, Amy. You're my neighbor, Amy, correct? I'm pretty sure it is. Hi, All About Art. If you give us your real name, we'll try and remember to use it. No guarantees. Hi, Kimberly. Okay, you guys, and I'll try and tell more people as they come in. Wolf Princess is my neighbor, Amy. And if Norma was here, I actually shared some of Norma's jewelry with her this weekend. So hi, Kenny. Hi, Picola. Hi, Denise. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Josie. My faithful sidekick is a little unwound today, I think, because I'm going to draw. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Sharon Marlowe and Lombard. Let me get my pop-out chat here because I can't stand this black screen. You guys don't have it, but if you stream, you know that when you open up your window, your chat comes up with a black background. I can barely read that stuff. So give it a minute. All right, here we go. This is better. You're typing like Jean, CB. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Galena. Hi, Judy. Yeah, I came on a little early. I figured I could probably kill 30 minutes around here, but I could just as soon sit here and do nothing with you guys too. So here we go. We're on it. So we've already got 20 people here. So today I'm going to draw. And you guys know I don't normally draw on stream because I get real quiet because I have to concentrate. So, but today I'm going to try and do kind of an interactive where you guys can follow along. So it's going to be real simple. Just get a piece of paper. Don't care what kind of paper it is. When I'm just doodling and drawing, I tend to draw on just really cheap, unruled copy paper, writing tablet, whatever. Because then I don't feel like it's so precious. I can't throw it away. Hi, Jean. Hi, Lynette. So yeah, don't use something so precious that you think, oh, I can't throw it away. Because for warm up and stuff like that, just throw it away, you know. But I do think, and I don't know if you do it in a sketchbook like this, whatever, do keep your drawings. I think Galena's setting hers up in a 3-ring binder. I don't necessarily like to draw in sketchbooks that have the spiral bound. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Miro. I'm just going to call you Miro. Yeah, I don't necessarily like keeping things in the sketchbook, but yeah, every sketchbook I pick up in this house has something in it. So, yeah, these I did over the weekend. They're out of the book that we're going to use. Did this over the weekend. You guys, and I'm just now working on this. This is actually in the book. The book that we're going to be drawing out of, and I would not recommend or say that you have to buy it. I'm going to pull out a little bit. Is The Complete Idiot's Guide to Drawing People Illustrated. I like her style. I like the way she does her exercises. Hi, Joan. Thanks, Amy. Again, Wolf Princess is my neighbor, Amy, so make sure you make her feel welcome. Hi, Leonie. Getting the kids ready for bed. You're obviously in another country. So yeah, I don't, I know, I think it was Sharon did go ahead and buy this book. I don't think you have to. The exercises I'm going to do should be pretty self-explanatory, so you don't yeah, you don't have to own the book. If you want to, I'd say it's a great book. I love this one. The author is Brenda Hodnott, I think is how you pronounce her name. I don't know how expensive it is. I really don't. I've had it for years and years. I bought it in 2004. I bought it myself in 2004. So there you go. I've had it for a long, long, long time. Well, it looks like I got it at a bookstore. So anyway, it was $19 then. But I probably had a coupon or something because I don't do much without a coupon. So I like this drawing. I just thought it was cute. So I just started drawing it. So I haven't done any of the shading yet, but getting the spacing and everything like hers. I think I did it while Colleen was streaming the other night. Hi, Julie. But yeah, that was kind of a challenge. But I just thought all the faces on the pencils and stuff were really fun. So yeah, I still got a ways to go. But yeah, so far I'm liking it, and it was fun to do. Eileen's here. She's passing out the alcohol. Hi, Eileen. Eileen, you need to just sit down and draw with us. But your artwork that you posted on Twitter was really awesome. It really was. It was good, Eileen. I hate to say that out loud in front of everybody, but it really was good. And then, I see that and then I think, oh, maybe I ought a watercolor. I want a watercolor. No way. She won't stay away. She won't stay away. So yeah, and that's pretty much what's in this book. And then I noticed when I opened it, here's some faces. And this is out of that Drawing Heads and Hands book that I showed you the other day. That is also a really good book. And somebody said you can download, I think it was Jean. Jean, did you say that you can download the PDF of that book? So, or yeah, print it out. I wouldn't, it's a big book, but yeah, this is the book I'm going to draw out of today. And then this is the same author, and there's a lot of repeat material in the two. And I didn't write down. I've had this book longer than I've had this book. So, and again, it's the same author. I like her. And another one that I really, really like, and I didn't pull any of her books out, is Lee Hammond. So, I don't know. I think everybody says they can't draw. And I guess I want to prove to you today that you can draw. There's just some basic things. And the reason I believe everybody can draw, and Betty Edwards says this in her Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain book, is the reason you can learn to draw is because you learn to write the alphabet. And when I read that day, it was just like, you know what? She's right. Somebody showed me a shape and I copied it. And now I can make images that everybody else can understand. And so I believe that if you can write the alphabet, if you learn to do that, you have the capabilities of learning to draw, because it really is just drawing shapes. And that's all letters are. You can do that. I believe that. And then somebody asked if I would flip through the beast real quick. So it's sitting here. So let me do that real quick before we go too much further. So this is my book where I write something, my to-dos, whether I'm drawing, whether I'm painting, whatever. I just call it the beast, and it actually lives in a leather cover from Chic Sparrow. Some people do have much better handwriting than others, CB, and I don't doubt that, but I'm going to show you in a minute why. Well, Amy, you need to get your ass down to my house and we will create you a beast. I have everything. but I know you haven't been feeling good. So, but yeah, like the first day you feel like you have an ounce of energy and can get down here, like, hello, girl. Anyway, so yeah, this is the beast right now. There's a lot of catch up to do, but I'll just flip through it. And I haven't gone back, and I've been testing out a lot of my watercolors in here. And these are chalky. Some of them feel really good, and you can kind of see how some of them look chalky. But I try and write down something every day that I'm grateful for, things that I want to try, Netflix shows I want to watch, receipts. This is when Robert and I went and saw Death of a Nation. It's a great movie. I would recommend it for everybody, regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on. It's just a fabulous historical movie that you will learn from. You may not enjoy it, but you will learn something. Hi, Joycey. Hi, Terry. So yeah, August has a lot of birthdays. So anyway, this is just the beast. I don't know when I showed it last, but I do stamping in it, just whatever. That's actually a coloring book page. Drew this. Do you guys remember ice cubes, those candies? I love ice cubes. I don't let myself buy them. My brother actually gave me those. I write your name every day. Something I'm grateful for? Yes, Eileen, your name is in here, I'm sure, somewhere. But you know what? Sweet Robert writes in his book every day, Eileen. I'm sure of that. And I can hardly wait. Now, I did draw those. Yeah, so just depends. Washi tapes, drawing. But a lot is just testing products a lot in here. I do. I love you. I wrote that to myself. Yeah, I love ice cubes. Yay, sweet Robert. Yeah, so I'm actually getting very excited. This beast has 2 years in it. At the end of this year, I've only got that much more to go. It will have 2 years in it, and I am excited to start another beast. I really am. Hi, Suze. So I just cut stuff out, write stuff down in here. Some stuff that is in this one will get transferred to the next one. So storms don't last forever. I'm worried about the storm that's coming, you guys. You guys need to pray for Robert's daughter. Her name is Jackie. She is on the Outer Banks. And man, it looks like that storm is headed right for her. There's a piece of art I never finished. This is a piece of art that ultimately I will do and let you guys follow along because it's really fun. Hi, Jan. So this is just the beast. I love having it. I really do. And you can tell when the first year I did a lot more in it, but I've had a lot more going on this year too. There's all the rude sayings. You look like I need a drink. That's what I say to Eileen every day. Man, you look like I need a drink. If you promise to go away, I promise to stop ignoring you. I can't say that to Eileen. I could say that to somebody, though. If you ran like your mouth, you'd be in great shape. The only person I trust is me, and even that's iffy. I'm working. Please kindly go away. Of course, I talk to myself. I need expert advice. I wish I was as thin as my patients. Don't talk to me after my coffee either. These are perfect. I love these. Fabulous called. I answered. Now I'm wondering, oh, I know what paints I used on these. I was going to say, I wonder what paints I used because those are awesome. And they didn't go through it. Well, that one did. I think I was using silks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was using the Silks acrylic glaze on here. I need to get those out and play with them more. And I almost, man, looked up Nuvo paste last night, Eileen, you freak. Here's the link to the free PDF for this book. The is that the Drawing Heads and Hands, Jean? Because if I can show that book again, I can go get it. So yeah, I don't know. I think everybody would have some form of a beast. Now this is like a second generation. I started out, and I don't think I have one here. I think I put them all away. Let me see. Nope. Here's an old beast. Nope. It's the kind of book I used to use. I just used a small, like you could get them at Michael's for like 50 cents or something. This was my original beast because the beasts were going to just be trash. They would, you could throw them away. So yeah, and look at, there's a very cool little monkey right there. So yeah, just use whatever you've got, you know. Nuvo products are made by Tonic Studios and have great reviews. Well, I saw Xander use them last night, and one, I love the stencil she used a whole lot, and I like the way the product looked after you did it. So anyway, CB had mentioned when I said that I thought everybody could learn to draw because you learn to write, and that some people's handwriting is better than others. And I have to agree with that. But I think that's too part of the reason that there are so many different styles of art. Hi, Norma. And I'm going to give you an example. This is obviously Brenda's style of art. I'll find something that she's done that is impressive. Okay, here's a girl's face, okay? I mean, that's pretty darn impressive. And I bet if we saw the original art, it's very close to that. But then on the other hand, go down and look at an artist like who is equally well-known, maybe more well-known, in fact, is Danny Gregory. And his style of art is completely different. It's not even close to realism, but it's yummy nonetheless. So I think you have to work with the limitations that you have. I mean, relearning to draw. Look at this. There's something even appealing about that. So we're not all going to draw the same. And that's one thing that Brenda does talk about in the book is creating your own style. And I think, one, you do have to work with your limitations. I have another book like this that I love as well. Let me show you. So I don't think we're all cut out to do realism. I forgot I had this book. Damn, girl. I'm sure I've forgotten. I have a lot of books, actually. But yeah, look at Danny Gregory's style. I don't think we're all cut out to draw realism like Brenda. But I think one thing we all can do, and see, Lynn, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I love his style. Like putting a book like this, what is not appealing about this? Like his little paint palette. Hello. And I truly believe any of us can do that. So the thing you have to go into drawing in your head is be happy with whatever you did, because keep in mind, there are people who can't draw at all because they may not have a hand, whatever, for whatever reason. Now here's portraits. They may or may not look like the original person, and they definitely don't look like Brenda's work, but there's certainly nothing wrong with them, right? No realist here. All my art is very abstract. See, that's what I think too. I love abstract. I love geometric designs. Um, and I love Danny Gregory's style, and I love his approach to it. You know, that it doesn't matter if it's something you enjoy. Now, maybe you don't enjoy it, but I would say if you don't enjoy it, chances are you're judging yourself really, really harshly. So the first thing I would recommend is get the whole judgment. I love that little guy. Hello, he's precious. By the way, see, that's just it. Everybody is so unique. You know, so we could draw like Danny Gregory, where there's like zero pressure to make it perfect. Another person who doesn't draw perfectly is Lynda Barry. She's got a few books out, and she does hers more in the style of a journal. She is a teacher, an art teacher, actually. And so she does hers in the style of a journal or a comic strip. But look at her style. I mean, what a mess. And I think that actually is a self portrait of her. It is. So you're going to find in her books where she's collaged stuff into it, where she's painted, where she's written, where she's drawn. This is more the style I like. Do what you enjoy and don't try to be perfect. Exactly. Because, and if you compare yourself to other people, you know, chances are you're always going to find yourself lacking. That's just the truth, because nobody's ever going to be the prettiest. Nobody's going to be the smartest. Nobody's going to, you know, like you just got and read, picture this. Do you have it? No. Do I need it? Chances are I do. But I love Lynda Barry's books. I mean, these are just complete and total eye candy. And you get a lot of ideas out of it. I mean, this woman, I think, has got to be like uber creative, like off the wall creative. You know, but her artwork and her style is not going to appeal to everybody. Yeah, Lynda Barry, you know her. Yeah, see, you have to love Lynda Barry. I just think how creative, how crazy is this? I'd love to know when she sat down with this blank page, what in the world was going on that she would end up with this? Do kids need toys? Why? Did you ever have a toy that knew you? The same toy is not the same toy for anybody else, true or false. Is there a toy you still think about? I do have toys that I still think about. Light Bright, I loved Light Bright. Easy Bake Ovens, I loved Easy Bake Ovens. I could not find myself art journaling until I found Jelly Plate. It taught you how to do layers and made that make sense. Well, and two, Jean, another thing that taught you is to go ahead and get your hands dirty. Get it dirty. Just do it. You can always clean it up. I have to have a quote or a song lyric. I think whatever prompts you, you know, like obviously this page was what are toys? What is a plaything? You know, where is a story before it becomes words? Like that is crazy to be thinking like that. Where is a story before it comes words? Who dreamed that up? Where did it come from? Was it a dream? What happens when you read a story? Sometimes it's just asking a simple question that will get the whole juices flowing for real. So, you know, that's why I say don't judge. You know, this girl is selling books. Like, look at most of her art is done on yellow legal pads. So there's not even pressure to go out and buy a bunch of art supplies. In my opinion, if you want to draw, and this is all I had for years and years before I met Eileen. Okay, the rat just told me he's home. Yeah, with some paper and some pencils. And then I met Eileen. Now I have a house with bulging walls because I have so much crap in it. So yeah, like there are so many styles of art, and your style is not going to be like anybody else's, so don't put any pressure on yourself. And if you want to see any of the other books I've got, because I showed you that sketchbook confidential. I have to write down Danny Gregory is one of the creators of Sketchbook School. Check it out. Yeah, I check out Danny Gregory a lot. I love his art. I'm tickled to death that he's had success because he is so creative. People like that should be success. Paula, I was going to go back and look for what you said that I need to look for. What did you say, Paula? Yeah, nothing's right, nothing's wrong, especially when it comes to art. All right, well, there we go. Art supplies are to be bought and not to use. Well, I'm following the rules then, Eileen. You can't get too mad at me. I'm waiting for Paula to answer me so I can write that down. And then when I went in there to find that book, I just found this, Real Textures, Realistic Textures. Oh, this is going to be a fun book too then. Ooh, baby. I got this at Half Price Books, $5. I love Half Price Books. I wish we had one around here. Her book picture is streaming right now, and order it. Her book picture, this to stream. Paula, I'm not following that. I'm sorry. I remember looking through this book. I've never picked it up and done anything out of it though. So yeah. But anyway, any of these drawing books, when you open them up, there's always an introduction, your basic tools that you need. So if you're going to follow along today, the only thing I would recommend is that you get a pencil. This is just one of those Papermate that you get at Walmart, school supply time. I will probably use a Tortillon. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. An eraser, and that's all. I sometimes use my graph gear too. Jean, if you can't translate it, we're all in big trouble. Linda Berry, picture this. It's the name of the book. Order it right now. All right. Now that you said it's a Linda Berry book, does it look like a composition book, Paula? If it's the composition book one, I have it. I just don't know the name of it. I can go get that though, because I love looking at Linda Berry books. So yeah, I mean, they're just saying get a blending tool, a sharpener. You don't need one if you use one of these. If you really get into drawing and using graphite, you might want to get a cotton glove and cut the fingers out of it so that the oil from your hands don't. Okay, that's syllabus. All right, then I'm going to go on and picture this as soon as I'm done here. And then every book will give you lines. And all of this is probably available on the internet as well. So if you don't want to buy the books, go online and look. There's so much drawing out there, beginning drawing, whatever. So yeah, I'll probably pull this book out and maybe try some of it too. But we're going to start today. Oh, look at that. Just really, really simple. And when I decided I'm going to draw more, I just started this little sketchbook. And this is more for instructions. So I go get it. You want to see? Okay. Let me just finish this thought real quick so I can put this away. Things that I read and I learn, and then I forget where I saw it. And so I just started this sketchbook, but it's more for instruction, my own instruction, than actual sketching. So every beginning drawing book will tell you to warm up, just practice random shapes. Draw things upside down. That's another thing. If you get out your alphabet and draw your letters upside down, and you will learn that you can draw. The subtitle is Learn How to Art with a Nearsighted Monkey. I need that books. Oh my God, who cares if you smudge up the drawing? I do, Eileen. I care because you know that whole OCD thing I got going on here. So here, just some warm-up exercises. We're probably going to jump right in today without warming up. Shading techniques, shapes, and down a shape, like a carton, seeing it as an individual shape rather than as a whole or an eyeball. That really helps with drawing. And then drawing shapes. And I think that is one of the real basic things about learning to draw is start with shapes. Learn a circle, a triangle, a square, learn how to shade it three-dimensionally. Here's how things will look at your eye level and then above your eye level, and how to actually construct that so when you're drawing it, you get it accurately. This was a really valuable lesson, this one right here. And then face proportions for an adult, which we can talk about later. So I don't know, you might want to just, if you do it in the 3-ring binder or whatever, include a section for instruction. I'm going to go get that Linda Berry book and then we're going to draw. Yes, sirree, Bob. Oh, you're not going to believe this. Where's the other one? Okay, Paula. Actually, this book was sitting out in my pile of books to finish reading. And it's a pretty big, look at what I have, Paula. Picture this. And I have looked through it. I just don't, that should help the whole light situation. So this is the one, not what you mean. I didn't mean to bring that one in here. I do have picture this. Can you believe it? Check your Twitter. Yeah. The Nearsighted Monkey book. And then this is the other one of hers. It's Syllabus. I love Linda Berry, so I have all her books. Syllabus, I believe, was the first one I got. And I bought it, I know, before I ever knew anything about her or anything. The reason I bought it is because it was shaped like a composition book. And then when I opened it and just saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to have that. And it feels, the paper is real cheap feeling. Oh my God. Paula, Drew, Janet. Way to go, Paula. Oh, you sent me a picture? Okay. It's going to look like a freaking monkey, isn't it? I'm checking Twitter right now. Oh, good. That's what we're going to do today, Dorothy. Good job. All right. Let's see here. Anyway, I'll keep flipping while I look for this. And nobody would call this great art, but as a book, to me, this is great art. Oh, Paula, I love that. I so love that. You guys have to go look at Paula's drawing. Oh, Paula, what I did at Dee Dee's, a la Linda Berry. Oh, that's so cool. I love it. Love it. Love it. I'm going to have to do, it's inspired by this book or the other one, the picture this. So when you look at this, you guys, you have to come out feeling like, you know what? I can do that. I really can do that. Now, maybe you're not going to be satisfied with that, but it's art all the same, right? She draws that same monkey over and over. Oh, yeah, I know. But look at even these monsters. I mean, that to me says she is a good artist. And look at the monkey. You have to love that. But yeah, this was my first Linda Berry book, and I was like, oh my God. And another Nick Bantock is another one. I love his books. So if you want art books to read, like Nick Bantock's books are just good to read as well. Yeah, I read every word in these books too, Paula. These are kind of like a Mad magazine to me. I used to love Mad magazine, and I would read it literally from cover to cover, every word in it, even the ads. So this is just to show you that, like, look at these portraits. You can draw that. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, there's the monkey. So Paula, didn't you teach yourself this morning? We can draw that. We're going to leave that one open because we're going to draw that before the day is over. But I'm going to start out. Dorothy, we're going to start with one that I showed last week. So get a piece of paper. I'm going to see if Linda Berry, because one of the things that makes she does, regardless of the structure of whatever it is you're drawing, if you learn basic shading, yeah, I love Nick Bantock a lot. If you have not read Nick Bantock, get his books. And Amy, if you want to borrow mine, I never lend my books, but if you want to look at them, I would lend them to you. Just learning some basic shading will help your drawing skills immensely. So I have to leave it open here. And then let's just quickly flip through picture this, because yeah, this is out in my to finish reading. I know I flipped through it a bunch when I got it, but oh man, look at that. Oh my God, I love that. And again, she does the yellow legal pad kind of backgrounds. You got to love that. Hey, Eileen, do you have these books? Picture this ball. But see how she got she got the shadow there. That's really what makes your art. Where are the mods? Eileen is drinking salty potato. I don't know where the mods are. Hang on, Galena. Hang on, waiting for this. All right, gotcha, Galena. All right, you're a mod now. Well, Julie, we can mod you too. They're probably doing something else. We'll just add a couple extra mods, because if we're going to have trolls, I want them booted as soon as possible. But one thing I would say is give people a chance. Like the other day, I think one of the trolls was really just, it was not a troll, it was a language barrier. So, but I trust you guys to do the right thing. So there you go. Moderate away. Look at that face. Who can't? You have to love that. Wow, check out all the #1 incredibly incredible values at Marley's Mart. I think it's kind of like a color book. Oh, I trust you guys. It was a troll. You've got some help now, Jean. So we've got Julie and Galen and Eileen. So we should be good. And you guys are usually at my streams, so that's good. Hula Baloo, the nearsighted monkey, dislikes the phone. Oh boy, do I dislike the phone too. Please use a paintbrush instead. Eileen has got to be somewhere else. Okay, go back and look at Twitter again. Okay, I'm going back to Twitter. Looking, Paula, looking. Okay, here's this. Don't question of the week. And that's the same one in color. Oh, this is going to be fun. I had to update it first. It wasn't updating. Picture this summer. Yeah, this is going to be fun book. Like this is fun too, just a page of ballerinas. Notes from syllabus. You are all over it, Paula. That's all I got to say. But Paula, I have to ask you, just having done that, didn't it build your confidence? It really, I mean, and I know this isn't Jane's kind of stuff, but every time you draw, I think you build your confidence, and that's what you need to do. All right, I'll put this aside. I forgot. I put this up in that need to read shelf. I have a lot to do, but I would love to, work hard at something, and at the end of a year or something, have a book like this. Who wouldn't love that? Yeah, look, it still has its little sleeve on it. So we're going to put that there. We will be reading that tonight. So we're going to start back where we did. Dorothy just posted. And I'll do it. Oops, I'm going to drop the mail. Get back up there. I'll get the sketchbook out. We're going to start. I haven't read it yet, Dee Dee. I've looked through it. Hi, Dee Dee, by the way. I'm sure I looked through it when I bought it, but I had to be doing other stuff. But that doesn't mean I can't appreciate others doing it that way. Though it does make me panic a bit. First project tomorrow, make myself a need to read shelf. Oh, God. Norma. Yeah, I have them all, Dee Dee. I have syllabus. I have, what is it? We looked at a Danny Gregory. We're just talking about art styles, Dee Dee, and that, yeah, I asked Paul a question. We're just talking about different styles, Dee Dee, and that, because I'm going to be working out of a Brenda Hodnott book, my style is not going to be her style, is not going to be your style. And so I showed him other people. I showed him Danny Gregory and then went to Linda Berry so that you could see that, just because you don't draw a portrait like Dee Dee doesn't mean it's not art, and it doesn't mean it's not good. Yeah, Dee Dee has to go look at Twitter and see what Paula's been doing. So I'm going to start with some real basic stuff. And you can do anything the way you want. Okay. So I said the other day, we're going to work out of the other book, but we're going to do this little circle first so that you guys can build up some confidence. Because this little guy, all it is circles. Circles. That's it. So you can use a template, or you can just draw the circles freehand. You guys know me, and I'm a little bit anal. Eileen likes to call me OCD. I call myself anal. About certain things, I am anal. So, and I don't see any point in reinventing the wheel. Oh my God, Paul is so impressed, tearing up here. See, Dee Dee, I agree. I'm like, you go, girl. So, there it is. I'm just going to draw a circle, use a template if you want. You don't have to if you don't want. I'll try and leave the book here so you can see. We're drawing this little guy. Now, for the rest of the circles, I'll probably just freehand it. I'm going to have to switch sides here, though, because, yeah, just going to have to do that. I'll put him up here where you can still see him. What did Dee Dee ask me to show? Exactly, just like in music, there's classical music, folk music. Exactly, yeah. I mean, we all have our, what am I supposed to show, Piccola? All right, so draw yourself just a circle. If you have to use a glass or something to get a good circle, you know, and that's another thing I would say is use the tools that are available to you to make yourself successful. Why would I have to learn to draw a circle over and over again when I have such a cool thing as a circle template? The paper thing. Oh, you mean the micrometer to measure paper? Is that what you wanted to see? It's probably the micrometer because I'm one of the few people that have one. Okay. This is not necessary for people to have. I have it because I was in the printing industry for most of my life. So these were commonly given away as little gifts if you went to a paper manufacturer or even a paper company. Fox River is in fact a paper company. So it's just, yeah, it's just a caliper. You put the paper in it. It measures the width of the paper, the weight, whatever. And then it gives you a little cheat sheet so that you can tell what kind of paper you're working with. Because a lot of times if I'd go out on a call, somebody'd hand me something and say, I want this exact thing on this exact paper. So I had to identify the paper. So yeah, if it comes up 4.5, that means it's EF book weight text paper. If it's 11.5, it's index. So yeah. And if I hadn't been in printing all my life, I wouldn't have one of these. I would just guess. But 60-pound offset is the same as 20-pound bond. So, you know, a lot of times that's hard to tell too, because then you've got to start working with the finish of the paper, if it's a bond or offset. So, oh, Eileen's having to deal with a jackhammer. Well, I hope they don't slip and hit her in the head with it. Coffee. Is there enough light here, you guys? It looks dark on my screen, but I've had to darken up my room. You have digital caliper for measuring beads. Stole it from your hubby. All right, so get your circle and let's draw and let's quit goofing around. Okay, I'm going to draw the nose first. And yours doesn't have to be in the same place mine is, so get your circle for a nose first. Hi, Scooby. I did have a good weekend. I really did. And I could have just as easily used that little template for my circle, my nose. Now just up from that, draw 2 little circles above your nose. And all you're doing is circles. And if you can write an O, you can do this. Dee Dee jackhammers and me, what a day. Well, you definitely are going to be drinking for sure. And then the bottom one is not really a circle. It's more of an oval. So and draw it the size you want. Yours doesn't have to look like ours. Now, what's going to make these 5 circles look great is the shading. And then you get out your ruler. No, I'm kidding. I'm just bugging Eileen. Okay, I'm going to use this for shading because it's a softer lead. What Julie say? You have a jackhammer ringing in my head from getting on the phone with the bank all morning. Oh, Julie, I'm so sorry you're having to deal with that. Oh, man. I'm kidding, Eileen. All right. So, to me, Dee Dee can point out if I'm wrong or help you guys. It worked on paper, and okay, then what I need to do, Norma, is send you the conversion chart so you can determine what kind of papers it will measure. Anyway, to me, it's the shading. So you can look on the internet and see the different kinds of shading there are. But if you're working with a sphere and it's sitting on a surface, you're always going to have a reflection shadow. And in this one, around his little nose, there's a reflective shadow, or reflected light, I guess is what I should say, around the edge of his nose. So always look for that light reflection and put it in your drawing. It will make it look more real. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do his eyes first. Draw your highlight in first, so you leave that completely white. You can go back in and add it with a white pen later. I can hardly wait to get my new glasses, Dee Dee. And his eyes are pretty much just black. They're not completely round. Fix them. Can you hear there's something outside my window backing up? Beep, beep, beep. I know, Dee Dee, I'm excited to get them. But you know what? I was surprised. My prescription really didn't change that much. And my floaters aren't as bad. So go figure. Okay? Draw a reflection or a highlight on his little nose. And obviously the light is coming from this direction. Yeah, it didn't change that much. I was a little bit surprised. Okay, if your light is coming from this way, your darkest shadow is going to be on the opposite side. So go ahead and put your darkest shadow in first. Do not go right up to the edge of your circle because there's some reflective light down there. And then shading, every book has different methods of shading. You can find out the one that works best for you. Where's that sketchbook? Here we go. I'll show you some examples. There's different methods of shading. You can shade like you're coloring. You can do little circles that overlap. That actually, to me, is nice because what the hell is going on out there? Oh, you know what? Robert's car topper came. Who the heck are you drawing? I think the new top for Robert's car. Maybe not. Yeah, that had to be it. Okay, that's what's going on. Yep, it's out there. Robert has this piece of crap Kia Sportage, and he just bought a new top for it. Who the heck are you drawing? It's my cousin. It's just a little exercise, Eileen. So yeah, just find out whatever shading method. This book, this is my own little instruction book, Paula, that I made. So I remember things because I forget everything so easy. So this is just a little book that goes in one of my traveler's notebooks. Just instructions so I can go back and look at things, and I don't have to go find what book it was in. And another thing that helps for me is if I write something down, I have a far better chance of remembering it. So that's why a lot of times I write things down. And I'm getting like nothing drawn right now. Your topper came, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Are you so excited?
Yes.
Are you going to go uncrate it? Thank
Yep.
you.
Getting ready to.
He's a happy boy. You're buffering? Oh, no. Yeah, it's a great little book, Paula. That's so funny. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go unpack your car thing. So on this one, I'm just gonna shade in, making little circular strokes. You shade whatever way. If you want to give something shape in direction. On this one, it's not going to matter. But yeah, read the book so you know. And most everything, I mean, if you look at other drawing books, almost everything starts with a basic shape. You see Dee Dee with the magazines, draw the circle for the joints and then the straight lines. Everything is either a circle, a box, a cylinder, or a triangle, or some variation of those shapes. So, this, can you see now, just in the two little things that we've done, we've already got shape. Okay. Now his mouth, again, light coming from this direction. His mouth, it's going to be darker on the right edge than it is down towards his tongue. And if you have a kneaded eraser, go ahead and use it. If you get too much graphite down, pick some of it up. Does the crate say FRA? Okay, I'm not getting it, Lynn. Or if it's a Janet head, it's a square. Yeah, it's a blockhead. That's for dang sure. So I feel like I got a little bit too much graphite there. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a little bit of it up. That's the nice thing about a kneaded eraser. You can just pick up little bits of graphite. You don't have to erase. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my tortillon. If you don't have one of these, in fact, I'm going to get a new one because this one I've broken down the tip. If you don't have one fragile, it's crated up. I can see it out there. Yeah, it's not fragile. And you can get these at Hobby Lobby or Michael's in the fine arts section. You can get either a tortillon, which is hollow, it's just wrapped up paper, or a blending stump, which this is solid. The ones from China, honestly, the ones you buy now stink. They're awful. They're awful. Fragile. Yeah. Sound it out. Too funny. Fragile. All right. So, yeah, I just got this one out to show you, but they don't keep these Chinese ones. They're made out of such crappy paper. They don't hold their point. So I like these. And this one is made in Taiwan. I ordered a bunch off the Wish app. Because they don't last forever. Go ahead and I'm going to blend out my shading and pick up. I got it a little dark, so I'm going to pick up some of the graphite. I love graphite drawing though. That's why I love the little Tombow. And see, mine is not exactly like hers. Her eyes are almost resting on her nose. I moved mine up. Who cares? Yeah, yeah. It's hard to follow chat when you're trying to think and draw at the same time, you guys. You use your little finger to shade? Well, you can do that. That's probably true, Eileen. And you can do this with color as well. I've done some color drawing. And for whatever reason, I always come back to graphite. I always like graphite best. And just smooth it out as best you can. Okay. He's getting some dimension already. God, do we have another troll? Whew. All right, now I'm just going to shade the rest of the larger circle. And then if we need to, and this one I'm going to do with lines to show the depth. And the reflective light is going to be back on this edge here. So just keep that in mind while you're doing it. Working on shading spheres, cylinders, anything like that is going to help your overall drawing, I promise you. And it's hard for me to draw on stream. I don't normally draw like this. I would have this at an angle in my lap more often than not. And then just you're learning your tools, you know, find a pencil that you really like for fine lines. I like the graph gears. For shading, I'll use this or a B pencil. And if you want me to talk about the hardness of pencils, I can do that. But I think most of you being around art probably are already pretty darn familiar with that. All right, and up here around his nose now, I'm going to blend that out here in just a minute. But up around his nose and his eyes, put the shadow that his nose, his cast shadow, put a dark shadow around the circle. And if the light's coming from here, of course, the shadow is going to be on the opposite side. There won't be shadow around his mouth because his mouth is going in. It doesn't protrude out. I have to pick up some graphite there. All right, now I'm going to use the blending stump to go ahead and shade this out. Now you could do this with all lines too. I use a stump. It's kind of like whether or not you use colorless blender with your pencils. You know, if you're a purist or not. I'm not necessarily. Pick up some graphite. Got too much down here. So sometimes I feel like I do as much drawing with the blending stump as I do the graphite. Use the erasers and these tools as much as I do the graphite. Then just smooth it out. I'm not doing Gamsol on it. Yeah, now he looks like he's three-dimensional. So I don't know how many of you did it with me. You can keep messing with it all day long if you want. Because we're going to do another one here that's really fun. I've done this one with kids, and I've done this next one I'm going to do with kids. And it's amazing when they're done doing it. Have I ever used powdered graphite? No, I have not, Sharon. No, honestly, before I ran into Eileen, I pretty much used my colored pencils, and graphite is pretty much what I used. Now I have all this crap that I don't know what to do with. And be careful when you brush like that, and that's why I have gloves usually. Now, because I'm an anal freak, I would end up sitting here messing with this until I got it exactly like I like it. But because I'm on stream, I won't do that to you guys. As I sit here and continue doing that. So who did it? I love teaching grade 1 to art. They were always so excited to learn and always loved what they create. Yeah, exactly. E.T. the Great Enabler. Isn't that the truth? Oh my God. My house will never be the same because of her. And that's why there is such a hashtag as "It's all Eileen's fault." Hashtag "It's all Eileen's fault," because it absolutely is. And she doesn't care because she has a big ass warehouse. I know she does. I know she walks out of her house and there's just like this huge warehouse out there where she just has everything. And Mondays before Dee Dee's show or before this one, she runs out there and goes, "What can I get everybody to buy today?" All right. He's going to be about as done as he's going to be. And I can see where the shading is not even back here, but that's easily fixable. Sometimes seeing it in the screen actually helps. Big ass one is better than a small ass one. All right. What was the next thing I was wanting to do? And it was out of the other book, I know. We're definitely going to draw that monkey, though. We are definitely drawing it. The other thing I was going to have you draw is, all right, well, I'm not going to show you the end result. All right, we're going to do this. It says to start with a square. So I'm going to really bug Eileen right now, and I'm going to draw myself a square. Because I'm anal that way, you know that, Eileen. All right, so I've got 5.5 inches. I'm going to come in 3/4. I'm going to make a 4-inch box. Oops. And look, I have graphite down here, Eileen. That bugs me. I hate that. Yeah, if there's somebody here that's annoying, just get rid of them. All right, this is going to be hard. Okay. We'll come down 1/2 inch from here. So. I know this is driving Eileen absolutely nuts. I know it is. I know it is. All right, so just get yourself a square. Or something close to a square. And draw an X very lightly in the middle of your square from corner to corner. Tell me if you can hear Robert outside. I'm not sure what he's doing, but it sounds like he's hammering something. Just went and grabbed a handful of roses. One will do it. Lynn, one will do it. Okay, this is just going to help you for placement is all this is going to do. Let me get some coffee here. Okay, if you've got your square drawn, in the middle of that square, I want you to do a big oval. Try and make it as good as you can, but it doesn't matter if it's not completely round. Oh, Dee Dee, I was going to ask you, did you watch Scott Adams draw Dilbert yesterday? He got on Periscope and did the final drawing of a Dilbert cartoon yesterday. And he said one of the hardest things is something that has to be symmetrical. And another thing he said that was hard, his opinion, was drawing hands. You have to go watch. He puts all his Periscopes up on YouTube now. So if you don't follow him, yeah. So anyway, this is, you can make that oval any way you want. This is good enough. Then right above that, on the lines, draw 2 circles. Just up a little bit from your original oval. Okay. I'm going to draw the eyes closer together. Because I made my oval kind of big. Try and make your 2 circles about the same size because they're going to turn into eyeballs, right? Okay, you follow him on YouTube? Yeah, he just posted it I watched part of it live, and then I had to go back and watch the beginning of it recording later. And then underneath, just draw a half oval underneath there. Yeah, if you're having a lot of buffering, try turning down your quality. I have it, I think I haven't gone back and changed it on ultra low latency though, and I think I may have to end up doing that. I don't know. All right. In each of the two circles now, draw two smaller circles in the upper, say, left portion of your circle. I love Scott Adams. I'm so glad you told me to start following him. Then draw a bigger circle there in the center of that one. I'm going to go ahead and erase my X now. Can you guys hear Robert beating out there? He is awesome. I love the way he thinks. I really do. If you guys, if Robert's pounding out there is bothersome, please let me know. It's not necessarily bothersome to me, but it might be to you. Hi, Sherry. Haven't seen you in a while. Okay, go ahead and color in your two eyeball circles. I'm doing mine just absolutely black, solid. But if you want to shade them lighter, you can do that. Make them more like shaded spheres, that's fine. But I want them to stand out, so. And if you're not following along, I hope you're doing something else. I was hoping I'd hear this morning from my bathroom people, but I didn't. So that kind of bummed me out. But I know I'll hear from them soon enough. But I'm tired of it being torn up, you know? Having to shower in a different bathroom. It's just annoying. And I know I should just shut up because, yeah, some people wouldn't have the luxury of that second bathroom. So I need to just shut up. There's his two little eyeballs. You can't hear him at all. Okay, you barely hear it. Okay, good. Thanks, you guys. You're working on design. Well, yeah, you, Joan. Your launch is coming here pretty quick, Joan. You're chewing carrots. Dee Dee, you weren't here when I introduced Wolf Princess 73. She is, in fact, my neighbor. So sometimes if you've heard me talk about my neighbor or my neighbor's husband who comes up to get corn dogs here, that Amy is his wife. Yeah, see, that's just it, Galena. And that's why sometimes I forget. I need to just be a little bit more sensitive because that's ignorant. Okay, and so on this, Howlett Wolf. And Norma, if you're here, remember I told you I had given your jewelry to my neighbor. Amy is my neighbor that I was referencing. So just do a much lighter shadow on the nose. You can shade it like a sphere and give it some depth. The light is coming from here, so the shaded edge is going to be over here. And I don't even know if you could see that when I did that. I know. I will definitely be going to Patty's to watch for him, Joan. I don't buy a lot of stencils because I don't use a lot of stencils in my art, but I will definitely be there watching Patty for sure. There's so many out there that I would love to have, really. I'm going to smooth all this out with the Tortillion here in a minute, so no worries. I'm going to take the edge, the ugly edge off here, though, right now. I always usually wait to clean up very last thing. And working with graphite, it helps if you have a brush or something. If you brush it off like that, I know you're going to smear the, I'm in the same, yeah, you're in the same boat, renovating the bathroom. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, should just shut up. Just shut up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and darken this edge of the sphere for the nose. Take the smushed Tortillion and go ahead and just smudge out the graphite, make it all smooth. So I honestly believe, you guys, if you learn nothing more today than how to shade a spear, because we're going to apply this again in a minute, really you'll start feeling so much more comfortable with what you draw. And I think a lot of times people jump into the really hard stuff too quick. That's why I thought, let's just start something real, real simple. Me too, Norma. I was tickled to death that she loved it so much. I loved it too, but yeah, I like Sharon. So, and I knew you wouldn't mind, Norma. I knew you wouldn't. And Norma has an Etsy shop open, you guys. For those of you who maybe don't know that, she has an Etsy shop. Norma, feel free to put your Etsy in chat so people can go look at your work, because really, like, her acrylic pour art is so unbelievable. Her jewelry is beautiful. Her jelly plate transfers are unbelievable. So yeah, if you like stuff like that, go look at her work. You will be absolutely, totally, completely impressed. I am. Well, and if you watch my last video, you saw what she sent me of her own artwork. And Norma, I hope you know how much I totally appreciated that. Now go in and clean up your edges a little bit. I went in and took a little bit of the graphite out so I'd have that reflective part on this one, because everything gets some reflective light. And when it is kind of what you like, go ahead and leave it like that. Go ahead and darken up, because the next thing you're going to do is just absolutely draw crazy wild lines with reckless abandon. I'm going to take that harsh line out of his nose. Oh, you just put more necklaces in the shop last night. Yay. Well, go look. Hi, Zelie. I know. She has beautiful pores and jewelry. I like to see artists succeed. And if you can make some money doing it, I'm all for that. So, and I believe we have to support each other, you know? So I'm always happy for artists who can actually make a living. I think it's hard to do that. But even just make some money to help pay for supplies so that you can continue to do what you love, you know? All right. I'm going to quit jacking with it. It's good enough now. So now I just want you to go from anywhere, nose, whatever, and just start drawing lines out. And you can stay inside your square too. I guess that's what I should do, is stay inside the square. Because this is like his hair. You're going to end up with a fuzzball. She actually has a name for this little character. And if you go over the highlight in his eyes, you can always go back later. And erase them out, so don't worry about that. Draw them long all the way out, and then some short ones too. And I think what you're learning here is texture of hair. And this is like, for me, this is really good warm up. And I would say if you're going to sit down, practice drawing, warming up really does help. Like just drawing these lines out like this, I can feel myself using my wrist rather than drawing like this, using your wrist and your shoulder more. Yeah, your drawings will be better, I think. At least mine, I feel like are. And just keep adding hair until you feel like he's fuzzy enough. And you can use this for an exercise to control your the weight of your hand, how much pressure you're putting on your pencil, varying your pressure so that if you are, for example, drawing pet fur, that you get any number of dark and light lines, because that's really what the texture is like. They come out kind of pretty cute, huh? But see, what I wanted to do was start simple so that when we ended today, you had something that you could look at and say, holy crap, I drew that. And it looks pretty darn good. Because I truly believe it's the whole confidence building that you can look at something you actually created and go, holy crap, if I did that, like this face, if I did that, because it has all the elements of a face. It's got eyes, it's got nose, and it's got a mouth. If you did that, you've pretty much covered the elements of a face. Now it's just drawing a few different lines. Honestly, I want you to build confidence, because one thing I hate hearing is, I can't do that. Baloney. You can. You just took the easy way out saying you can't do it. You can do it. I believe it with all my heart. And I've drawn this with, I'm not kidding, I think Charlotte's granddaughter was maybe 4 or 5. She was pretty little. And actually, she's in high school now. She's maybe in her first year of college. She still has that drawing that we did down at South Padre when she was like 4 or 5. Because that was the first time she felt like she did, like she was proud of what she had done. Because none of us, honest to God, Dee Dee's got 30, 40 years. I won't give your age away, Dee Dee, you old wench. But Dee Dee's got a ton of years on us, you guys. I mean, this is something she's done forever. I always wanted to, but had so damn many kids. I didn't have the luxury of doing it. Or, I guess, in all honesty, I didn't make it a priority. It's when you make it a priority that that you make yourself sit down and do it. So if it's something you want to do, sit your butt down and do it. I do not have a, hi Zoe, I don't have a Facebook group. Yeah, I don't. I'm lucky I have a YouTube channel. I could make one. Yeah, see, that's what I think is the only reason you can't do it is because you haven't freaking tried. Now I'm going to go in here where I went into his nose, and you can kind of see my spare pencil marks. I'll go ahead and smooth those out. If it means I have to darken his nose a little, that's fine too. I don't care. So I always do cleanup last. So that was mostly what I wanted to do today, was get you guys to draw a couple of things that you could just go, wow, I can't believe I did that. I probably should have erased the square before I started drawing his hair, but I'm not going to worry about it. Janet Sass and Dee Dee, I know. Sacrilegious, isn't it? I've probably said worse to her in real life. Just saying. I'm sure Dee Dee will admit to that. Yep, she's probably said worse to me. And I know I've said worse to Eileen. I know it. He looks like your husband, hair coming out from his nose. That's funny. That is funny. So, and you can just keep adding hair or whatever. You'll take them to my shrink and ask if he likes them. All right. And then I was gonna do one other, where did I put it? Let me see. we're going to go ahead, since we've learned this much, we're going to go ahead and try this guy here. There's not a demonstration on him, but let's just go ahead and give him a try. This potato head guy, because I think he's cute. And it just adds a couple more skills. We'll go ahead and add his ears, because honestly, I believe when you guys learn that you can do this, you will go ahead and try other things. Yeah, he looks like a pom-pom people. All right, we're going to go ahead and go on to the next one. So I'm going to have to make up my own tutorial on this one, but that's okay. You know what? Maybe before we do the next one, I'm going to try and do the monkey, because I've already been on here an hour and a half, if you can believe that. I can't believe it. But I want to draw that monkey like Paula did. Because here's the truth of the matter. I'm just going to fess up to God and everybody. When I grow up, I want to be either one, Dee Dee, and I've said that a ton of times. I want to be Dee Dee, or I want to be Paula. That's it. Now everybody knows it. Well, but number one, I guess I lied. Number one, I want to be a princess or the queen. The queen, a princess, Dee Dee, or Paula. That's what I want to be. That monkey can eat the hairy one you did. All right, here. Okay, and another thing when you're drawing is you kind of have to figure out the best way to break things down. Paul is awesome, yeah. So when you look at something, try and, okay, probably the best way to break this down, rather than starting up here with the knot and all this, start with the part of the face that you know you're going to get right, correct? And because everything else is going to be proportional off of that, correct? So we're going to draw with her mug, or start with her mug. And I'm going to draw with this pencil. So it's kind of a big oval. Yeah. I was going to try and keep all this in a book. So we, kind of like the Society of Ideas Collector, that you have a book where everything's going to end up. Keep hoping falling asleep to Dee Dee at night will turn me into her in the morning. I know, Teresa. I know. Wait a minute. I thought you were the queen of Monkey Island all this time. Well, I am, but there's no tiara that goes with that, Azure. I want the tiara, the diamonds. I want the family jewels. Well, that's probably not a good way to say it. Now Eileen's going to make fun of me for that. Eileen makes fun of me for everything. All right, so we've got the oval for her mug right there. Now we're going to draw her face on it. And if you notice, it goes almost from edge to edge. So there we go. Now, from there to there, about halfway, say, is the line for her glasses. And then her glasses go all the way to the edge of her face, kind of in an oval like that. Oval like that. That one's bad. That one's bad, real bad. But hers are not symmetrical. I'm trying to make it as close to hers as I can. Okay, then there's her bandana. Goes from the edge of her glasses. Like that. I didn't leave enough room at the top. Always plan that. That's okay, though. There's kind of her bandana. I did not plan spacing very well on this, did I? It's almost hard to draw the inaccurate shape as it is. You're going too fast. Okay. Because I am trying to do it like hers, where like the shapes are just wrong. Like this ear goes out like this, but this ear goes up. So it's almost as hard to draw it wrong. Yeah, and see, you can't see her eyes. So she just has like white glasses on. This is the kind of thing I would probably draw on the Beast. And maybe that's what I need to do is every day pick something out of Lynda Barry's book to draw on the Beast. All right, have you guys gotten this far yet? Because I drew the oval for her mouth, and now I'm just going to draw the smile, and even the smile is kind of off center. And her nostrils are a little off center too. See, that was not hard. Now I just need to start selling books like Lynda Barry. How about that? Don't be afraid to draw the wrong line. You got an eraser. You can always erase it. And after you get kind of your sketch lines, you can go back and do, you're still on the circle. Oh, the part of her head like this. I'll just go ahead and draw her the clothes down here. Because mostly what I try and do, you guys, is a lot of times I have no vested interest in the end product. I don't care what it's like. What I'm interested about is, can I look at the angle of that line and recreate it somewhat accurately? That's really, I guess, where I'm at. Dee Dee, I'm sure, already feels certain that she can do it. And if you're drawing a straight line, that's another thing. Straight lines, ovals like this, you're using your shoulder and your wrist. You're not the circle in the face. Okay. So like this, you're moving your whole arm. You're not just, yeah, you have to move your whole arm. Yep, it's more like that. Straight line, uses a ruler. Don't let I do, Eileen. If I need a straight line, I absolutely am going to use a ruler. Because I'm not stupid. Like, there's no point in reinventing the wheel. Somebody already did that. So now I'm proud of myself because I drew a cool Lynda Barry monkey. This one I may go back and watercolor later. You did the first two, but you got interrupted on the monkey. See, and then the shirt's fun because then you get to draw a plaid pattern too. All right, we're going to move on here in just a second. Got a plaid shirt on. But if I wanted to go ahead and finish this in black and white, I think I am going to actually tear this out and watercolor it. But if I wanted to go ahead and finish it with graphite, start thinking about where the curves are. Where do you want depth? Naturally, the center of his face is, or her face is going to protrude the furthest. So you're going to have shading on each of the edges. You can just go ahead and add that in. Probably a little bit of shading under the bandana. And then glasses, always put some shading on your face. And then this, you would shade just like we did. And I'm not going to do it because I think I really do want to watercolor this. But you would shade this just like we did these circles back here. So you've already probably learned more than you realize that on a cylinder, your shading is going to be on the edge. And this part of the head is nothing more than a cylinder. This is an oval. This is a kind of a goofy oval. But any of that you would shade, if it has to, you know, mass, you would shade it just the exact same way. So I could, and I'll probably end up erasing it, but I'll just go ahead. I really wish that storm was breaking up and moving out to sea rather than inland, you guys. I worry about Robert's daughter. But see what I'm saying? I can already give her, well, see, now I'm doing it even though I said I wasn't going to. You can just start giving it dimension with something that simple. Her face is out further than her chest, so there's going to be a darker shadow down here all the way around because her face is going to cast a shadow. So those are the kind of things think about. I might go ahead and watercolor right over this shading. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, Debbie. I'm not going to go ahead and erase this now. I'm going to erase that because when I watercolor it, the shades are probably going to be blue. We'll give you some blue shades. So see, I mean, we've already learned quite a bit. And then the ears, this goes in, so you're going to want shading back there. Next to her head, there's going to be probably shading. And you can do this all really quickly. I mean, this is quick sketch, obviously, right? Like, this is not just, it's just fun. That's all we're doing. Fun. All right. The monkey, you should do more of these type of streams. You enjoy this? He right now looks like teacup handles instead of ears. Yeah, well, that's the way she drew them. But when they're the color of the face, they'll look like what they're supposed to look like. But again, Jean, something might look like that, you know. Joycey's leaving. See you, Joycey. Have a great afternoon. Was Zoe talking to me? Oh, Amy was. Let me look back. So you guys like these kind of streams? Lane said he will be over to get that monkey. Oh, okay. Tell Lane he can have the monkey. He could have the monkey. I want to watercolor it first, though. And then another thing is here where the collar is, go ahead and add a shadow because you know the collar is going to cast a shadow below it. And those things, I mean, just learn by observing. You know, you already know it, but it's like you have to think about it to incorporate it into your drawing. All right. What's Zoe saying? Hi, Jackie. Cute monkey. Yep. That's a Linda Berry. That's in honor of Linda Berry. I don't think her glasses are quite as wonky as mine, but that's okay. I may do that. I may try and start drawing some elements of Linda Berry's art in my Beast, because honestly, like making those glasses a little wonky and not the same in the nostrils and stuff like that, that's almost as hard as making it up in your brain as you go along, you know? He is a strange monkey, a very, very strange monkey. All right, now we're going to just, because we can, we're going to try and draw this little guy. He should be okay. We could at least get part of him done. All right, the way we're going to do this is we're going to break it down into its elements, okay? And I'll just go over quickly how, if I'm going to draw this, how I go ahead and proceed. I see his overall shape of his face as an oval. I want to say kind of on its side, but a low oval, the up and down way. Should make a drawing a warm-up in beginning of your streams. We could do that. Okay, then just because I know facial proportions, and we'll go over that at some point, I've got different things here in the book marked. Today I just wanted, okay, we're just going to play so that they feel like they can succeed, you know, like, yeah, stretched oval. but because of the facial proportions, I know that the eyes are going to be in the center of that oval. The way she's shown it, the nose is really just a circle below the center, and then the rest of it's going to be really easy. Most of it's going to be just shading. So let's dig in. Vertical heart. Yeah, sometimes I can't think of the word, you guys. Portrait oval. There you go. He must be going to wash something. All right, here we go. How can I do this where y'all can see the picture? Is that good? Hopefully I'll be able to draw like that. Okay. I want room for his hair. Yeah, we're going to go from about there to there, I think. And it's a little bit, maybe not. I was going to say it looks like it's a little bit wider at the top than at the bottom, but I don't necessarily think it is. Yeah, this hand not being able to rest is going to be a pain in the neck. I guess it does come in a little bit. We're going to make it come in a little bit. Not a total oval. Because that's really the shape of a human face is a little bit wider at the top than at the bottom. So keep messing with your oval until you're comfortable with it. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is really just play. It's all going to be shaded here in a minute anyway, so. This is a little fat over here. There, that's better. Okay, if you want to measure, you need this mechanical pencil. Well, Amy, that is easy to do. Oh, here's a secret about Amy, you guys. Amy loves pens as much as I do. Ha, 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 ha. All right, are you guys done messing with your oval? I don't want to get too far ahead, so you having to hurry. Clean up your oval as much as you want. These graph gears come in from 0.03 to 0.09. I love these pencils. I really do. I don't have the 09 because I don't normally do things that dark. If I was going to recommend one of these pencils to, my 07 is in on the couch. The 07. I got mine from Amazon. All of mine. They're called Graph Gear. They're my Graph Gear 1000 by Pentel. Hashtag, this time it's all Dee Dee's fault. Okay. Hope you guys got your oval good to go. So I'm going to say about right there is the center of the oval, right? Might be a little bit high. All right, I'm going to say it's right there. Now, just for shits and giggles, let's measure it and see how close I am. I'm about 4 3/4, which would be 1 1/4. about 3/8. Look at, I'm off a little bit. The actual half is right there. Yeah. Yeah. Look up Graph Gear 1000, Amy. You too will own one. I've lost my favorite eraser too. That hacks me off. So I'm using this piece of crap that I don't like. All right. There's about center, according to the ruler, which Eileen just wet herself over. On hers, the eyes are above middle. Could be. We're going to try and keep our proportions somewhat. That's 1.5. Yep, her eyes are above center. 1.5, that would be 3/4. Yep, the top of the nose. All right, well, now that we know that, we'll try and copy that accordingly. The nose is right about here. And it's just a big circle. So we'll do the nose first because that now we have identified where it is. I think that's about proportionately correct. And if it's not, we're not going to worry about it. Okay. Touching the nose, I'm right here. Touching the nose are the eyes, and they are just longer ovals, but they're touching the nose. So we're going to go ahead and put in a couple eyes. Actually, the bottoms of the eyes were at about center. So just go ahead and draw yourself a couple of ovals. Yeah, because she's got the ears in the right place. She just got everything up a little bit higher than it would be. Your eyes are about in the middle of your face or your skull. Okay. I hope you guys are up with me. I'm trying to go a little bit slow. Okay. All right. He's got eyelids. I'll hold this up so you guys can see. It's not going to focus. Damn camera. Come on. Focus, focus, focus. Well, never mind. Not going to. I am. It looks weird, but doing okay. See, Dee Dee and everybody, Paul, everybody else say, you got to work through the uglies, man. But at the end, believe me, it always comes out okay. All right. I'm going to say from there to there, his pupil is about center. So just above center of this, we're going to draw a line across on both eyes. And my eyes aren't exactly symmetrical. This one's a little bit wider than this one, so I'll go ahead and draw this one out a little bit. We'll fix it. You won't notice when we're done, I promise you. Okay. And his eyelid, for whatever reason, goes outside of his eye. So you're going to alter the shape of the oval and pull the eyelid out a little bit from the eye. That's a weird thing that she's done there, but she did it, so we're doing it too. Okay, draw a half, well, we're going to draw the big half circle first. and then draw a 3/4, I'm going to say 3/4 circle for his pupil, and put the highlight in on the right edge of that. I'll hold this up. I don't have autofocus on, so you were shopping. There's nothing wrong with that, Amy. I think 90% of us shop during any given stream. Eileen's got me shopping all the time. That's why hashtag it's all Eileen's fault. Okay. Up just, I don't know, a little ways. I'm going to go ahead and draw the eyebrow, and she's got it like a comma, kind of. Like that on both eyes. That one went a little bit long. I was going to ask you guys something else. Oh, that's why I hate this stupid eraser. I've got to find my real one. It's got to be in a book somewhere. It's got to be in a book. I know, and you're thinking, well, how can you lose an eraser in a book? Believe me, I can. Okay, we're getting a lot of his face done. In his nose, I'm going to go ahead and put the highlight over here on the left as well. Okay, his mouth, she's made simply as a line. And for whatever reason on him, it looks good. And it's, I don't know, it goes up about as high as the bottom of his nose. So with a little bit of a smile. And then she drew the cheeks with commas like we all did it as kids. Okay, hope you guys are keeping up. We're going to do the ears now. About at the same height of the top of his eyelid, we're going to draw like almost a backwards question mark. And it's going to come down almost as far as his mouth. So did you see that? Do a backwards question mark. On this side, go ahead and just do much like a question mark. Looks like a goofy guy. Thanks, Dee Dee. That clown looks like Chucky's cousin. Clowns are scary. This isn't a clown. He's just like a Mr. Potato Head. That's how I see him. This is Mr. Potato Head. This isn't a clown. He just happens to have a round nose. Okay, and in the ear, just put a line up so you know where your shading's going to be, like that. And then his hair, just make it any way you want. Kind of, this looks like grass tufts. So she's just, and I actually can't see a lot of his hair, so we're not going to worry so much about his hair. I'm going to give him a curler over here too. So he looks symmetrical. Looks a little like Bert. All right, so now we have really basically all the elements of his face, and he looks very flat, correct? Well, wait just a minute. So if you've got all the elements of his face, I'm going to move the book aside and we're going to start shading. And he is going to develop depth very quickly. All right. I'm going to do the ultimate or the overall shape of his face last. We're going to start with his nose because we've already done that. All it is shading a spear. So go ahead and let me see if she built the, yeah, she did put a cast shadow on there. Light is coming from this direction. So all of your shadows are going to be on that side, the darkest shadows, okay? And the light is, if this is your darkest shadow, your light reflection is going to be reflecting back up that way. And you can read all about that. So go ahead and just start shading his nose, just like we did the circle before. And if sometimes you guys, like I just started with faces because that's what everybody seemed to be interested in, but we can do flowers, we can do pretty much whatever we want. I mean, we have Google and we can look up anything for a reference. I just thought it was easy if we worked out of a book. So then if you wanted to buy the book and work on your own, you could. And if we learned just some real basic kind of techniques, you're going to take these techniques and apply them other places, even in your coloring books. I promise you. Yeah, so that you can take what you learn here, some real basic stuff, and apply it other places. So, I mean, we can draw butterflies. We can pretty much draw anything you want. After doing Inktober, I'm not sure. After doing the Slinky, there is literally nothing I'm afraid to draw anymore. That Slinky, honest to God, that Slinky, yeah, that was the hardest thing I think I've ever drawn. That and the Barrel of Monkeys. And that's why I'm so pissed that I can't find the sketchbook. And again, you guys, you can get like as detailed as you want at this point. I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. You don't have to blend this out either. I mean, you can do this and just leave the pencil like it is. I just like it blended. But you don't have to do that. What's the name of the author of the book, Brenda? And I know I'm not pronouncing your name right. I just call it Hodnott. Hoddinott. Brenda Hodnott. Hodnott. I don't know. To me, it's Hodnott. And if you want the ISBN number, I'll give it to you. But it should come right up. Complete Idiot's Guide to Drawing People, illustrated. I just like her style. Okay, so we got the nose kind of done. Excuse me. All right. Next is we'll do his eyeball, the pupil of his eye next because it's the darkest. And I'm going to color it in very, very dark. And again, I'm using this pencil because it's a soft lead. It's just probably just a number 2. Yeah, it's just a number 2. I draw with number 2 just a lot. I think the lead in my graph gear is HB. I think that's what they come with. But that's generally the lead I buy for replacement as well. About the equivalent of a number 2, I would guess. All right. His pupils are really, really dark. And then the iris part, I'm just gonna I'm gonna draw some lines with the hard lead, and then I'm just gonna shade it. But I'm gonna give his eyes a little bit of texture with some lines in it. And then my shading's gonna be somewhat lighter than that. And I'm barely putting graphite down here now. Okay, one thing, whenever you draw people, and I can't think of an instance where this is not true, where your eyelid covers your eye, you have a cast shadow there. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cast shadow in this guy's eyes, where his eyelid is covering up that portion of his eyes. So it's going to be a little bit darker. And that's true of every eye, including animals, I believe. And those are the little things that give your drawings dimension. Okay, now his eyes look a little dimensional. All right. She's showing his eyelids, and they're rounded like this. So your shading is going to be on each edge going toward the center. So I'm going to clean up my eyelid first. Because after you do the shading, it's almost impossible to go in and clean up your lines. So clean up your lines first, unless you want to redo your shading. And in this case, I'm just drawing little lines going toward the center, or like following the arch of the outside line. Okay, now if you didn't want to blend that, that's fine. Okay, in his ears, I'm going to use the other pen. Yeah, I'll use this pencil. Again, I'm going to clean up my lines. Where you've drawn the little comma for the inside of his ear, that's where the bulk of your shadow is going to be up next to his head, and then it's going to go out from there. especially on this side because the light's coming from over here, right? And on this side, you see more of the ear detail. So if you need to go ahead and draw the lobe, that's fine. Just do a little shading. Not necessarily draw the line, do it with shading. So I'm going to draw with this time. Can you see? I might pick up some of that graphite. No, it looks crazy, but it won't be. All right, now we're going to make his cheeks here. If you need to, go ahead and draw yourself some little circles there to leave absolutely clean. No graphite at all. And she has him have a cleft chin. So we're going to go ahead and draw an area down here. That these areas will have no shading at all. Because he's going to have a cleft chin. Thanks, Dee. Okay, here we go. We're going to go ahead and shade him. And I'm going to use the Tortillon because it's fast. You take as much time as you need. If you want to do it all in graphite, do it all in graphite. I'm not going to worry so much about it. This side of his face is going to be a little bit darker than this side of his face because the light is coming from here. So. And I'm hurrying. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit darker shading up here around his nose. Because it's protruding off his face, correct? So I want some pretty dark shading there. And then any place you want it to appear as though it's receding, use a little bit darker shading there. So if you want it to look next to his, say, temples, just darken that a little bit. Anything that's receding is going to be slightly darker, right? Again, I'm not going to shade there because his little cheeks are going to be reflecting. And down here at his chin, he's going to have some pretty dark shading right there where the bone is projecting out a little bit. And those are the little things that make it really interesting, like that cleft chin. That's what makes it kind of interesting. And those are also the kind of things that if you did portraiture, which I will never do, I'll never gain the skill to be a portrait artist, I promise you. But those are the kind of things that make people look like what they look like. Like I have a little mole on the side of my face. You would never draw me without including that mole. It's a beauty mark. It's a beauty mark. Looks like a drunk Clarabelle. And really all I'm doing here is just getting some graphite down. I'll smooth it all out here in just a second. And this has reflective light over here that I failed to leave. So I'll... Okay. Believe it or not, that's about as much graphite as I'm going to put on. And the rest of it, I'm going to shade with the Tortillion, I think. You could do this with colored pencil as well. You know, if you want to work on that, yeah, just go ahead and use your colors as well. I should do more of that. And that's kind of where I was headed before I got hijacked by all this streaming nonsense. And if it's too dark, I will pick it up. And if I get too much graphite on a Tortillion, I do like Dee Dee does with her soft tools. I just clean it off. One thing I did do yesterday when I was sitting here drawing or doing whatever I was doing, I had, I don't know if you guys like Micro. I love Micro from Dirty Jobs. He has a new show. Well, it's not new. He's been doing it for a couple years now, called Micro Works. Okay, I will. I can do that. But anyway, he's got a show on Facebook called Returning the Favor, where I'll use his words, where they go out and they find bloody do-gooders who are better than the rest of us, but people who do things for their community, either in the form of a charity or whatever. And yesterday I binge watched all of the past episodes of Returning the Favor that I had missed. Oh my gosh. I was sitting here crying, you guys. His mom is funny. Yes. His mom and dad actually were in some of the episodes yesterday that he filmed in Baltimore, one of them that I watched, and then they were in one from the prior year. Yeah. If you have not watched Micro Returning the Favor on Facebook, I think they're about 20 minutes long is all. His mom has a book. She's written a book, and he called her yesterday morning. His mom's book was gone up to #1 on New York Times bestseller list. Or it beat out Bob Woodward's book, I guess is what he said. Yeah, his parents are adorable, but they would almost have to be, I think, to have raised such a good egg as he is, you know. And his foundation is not new either, where he's helping young people
find work in the trades rather than a 4-year college degree, because he's a firm believer, as am I, that not everybody is well suited for a 4-year college degree. And we force people into believing that if you don't have a college degree, you're not valuable. When in fact, there are huge numbers of jobs that are available right now, today, for people who will get themselves trained in the trades. And he gives out scholarships. I mean, he gives out a ton of money. Excuse me. So that kids will start considering going into trades. And I think most people would be happier, frankly. Hi, J-Midge. Exactly. Jean just said it, that the education system tells people that you must have a 4-year degree or somehow you're just not valuable. And he's saying, no, there are trades out there that people need to get into. There are jobs waiting. So yeah, I just like him as a person. I think he truly cares about well, the kids, his community. I think he cares about the country, frankly. And he's doing his part to make it all better. And how can you not love that sentiment, So I've got this down here too dark, I think. So anyway, yeah, you can say that again. Corporate America sucks. Well, I worked corporate America. My husband worked corporate America. So I don't necessarily think that corporate America sucks, but I do believe that it's not for everybody. Corporate America was very good to us. So I can't necessarily say that. But I do believe that, my father was in construction, and my brother does heating and air. Robert owned a heating and air conditioning business. My brother would give anything to be able to find a well-trained, and even those guys who were here doing my rock, you guys, they were saying, I can't remember if the one guy had been an instructor at the Votech or what, but they were saying they cannot find guys who are trained in HVAC, not HVAC, masonry. And no wonder they can get exorbitant amounts of money for their skill and their trade, because they can't find guys who are trained and willing to do. Me too. Sucked for me. Corporate America does some pretty evil things. I will agree with you there, Zelie. I mean, I saw some pretty crappy things. I worked at Amoco. My husband, I didn't work at Amoco. I worked at Arco, which has since become BP. My husband was management at Amoco. So yeah, I know where you're coming from. I saw a lot of it. I'm having trouble with this clef for whatever reason, but it looks better than it did. So, but anyway, yeah, I love the whole idea where he's kind of making it okay for kids to recognize, and maybe I've got that too high is what it is. Plumbers, exactly. Hard to find a plumber, exactly. So I love that about him. I love that about his foundation. But anyway, my whole point was, if you have not seen his Returning the Favor and you want to feel good about your fellow Americans, go watch Returning the Favor. You can't help but feel good about
your fellow Americans. Your husband worked for Amoco also? My husband did telecommunications in the Western United States, which included Alaska, which is the Prudhoe Bay. Oil fields. That was a big deal when he worked there. That oil better keep flowing, I promise you that. Didn't matter night or day. If there was a problem with that oil flowing, we got a call. I agree. It's hard to find people to work. Exactly, Amy. I couldn't agree with you more. And you're definitely getting a taste for that out here on Monkey Island. The whole lake thing is, I'm just lightening up my shading all over. The whole lake attitude is alive and well out here. And I know he looks splotchy, but I wanted to get him toned down a little bit. Now I hate putting my shirt in that graphite because you know what's going to happen. So he's looking pretty good. Yeah, he's definitely three-dimensional. A generational thing. Mine was international tax. They showed how we ended up in London when we merged. Yeah. Yeah, we were gone before the merge. Long gone before the merge. So thank goodness for that. Now I'm just smoothing out where I want it to be a little bit darker. And at this point, we're talking really subtle shading, you guys. And I almost have to look in the camera to see it. CB, do you do crosshatch shading? I just do it this way because it's, I don't know, maybe it's easier. I like the end result. I like the way it looks. Not usually? Okay. He looks like a potato head. Yes, he does kind of look like a potato head. That's what I said. Mr. Potato Head. So if you've done this, you can see now that there's really, if you can shade this and make it look dimensional, in my humble opinion, there literally is nothing that you couldn't draw and make it look like it has depth. Nothing. Yeah, I still don't like the cleft chin. I'll have to keep working at that. And now I think I've goobered around so much that I've
eliminated the highlight in his eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and try and eraser it back out. And this is just a little Tombow Mono Zero eraser that I found. Love this little bad boy too. For small areas, it's awesome. And I do have the electric erasers. I'm just not that big a fan, frankly. Not that big a fan at all. And his hair, they show as really, really dark. So at this point, I probably would take a piece of scrap paper. There's an envelope. Here we go. To put over his face, because I'm going to put my hand over his face. You found the eraser? You're a smart girl, Amy, I swear. Okay, and then his hair is very dark. I think this pencil is about ready to crap out on me because I keep pushing the lead back down into the barrel. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on his hair because mostly I was interested in getting the elements of his face. But now I'll just go ahead and do some hair so you can kind of get an idea. In his hair, I think the most important thing is you want just lights and darks, because your hair, it has shadows and reflections and highlights. And so I think with hair, if you're drawing a portrait of somebody that has a particular hairstyle, you've got to be very careful to keep the hairline correct and all that. On something like this, it doesn't really matter. Just about anything you do would be okay. You know, you just can't screw it up. And right now it just looks like a bunch of lines, but by the time I get done using the tortillon on it, it'll be dark and light, I hope. I don't want it all smooth to one even shade. That I do know. And if you're doing this, just remember to just leave some white areas. Amy, I'm really glad you came to the stream today. Now you have to come down so we can get you set up with a beast. And I already have the notebook, goofball. I'm making it dark right along his scalp. And then I'll move all that out. Yeah, come down and do that. We may stream that day and make the paper the colors you want and stuff like that. So there's mine compared to hers. One thing, if you'll notice, like it looks like his hair is going back away from his face. I didn't leave that. So what I'll do right now is go ahead and do that on mine. Oh, you had one already? Woohoo! Oh my God, I used to work for him. That's funny. So I'll just pick up some of the graphite, right? And then go back in with the Tortillon or the pencil and draw some of the darks back in. And if I want it whiter than that, I'll just take the eraser and erase some of it off. But I don't want it all off because he still has some texture. All right. Thanks, Joan. Thanks, Jean. You may want to take a bottle of scotch with you. She has a bottle of Crown. Yep. Normally, and we've only drank it together one time, right? No, maybe twice down in the pool. I don't know. But we drank sissy girl drinks. I still want to work on that cleft chin a little bit. Yeah, that's all right. He's cute, kind of pineapple-y. Thank you, Scooby. Yeah, I know you can have zero alcohol right now. I know that, Amy. Yeah. Well, Robert and I rarely drink anyway. I hardly ever drink alcohol. New Year's Eve, I'll drink alcohol. All right, and CB wanted me to show crosshatch. Let me go back to the beginning of this book because I think she does have a section in here about shading because say I wanted him to look like he had been carved out of wood. Okay. I probably would do shading to mimic the wood, right? So normally your shading should be not just the light, but also the texture of whatever it is you're trying to depict, correct? So in that event, let's just say that I had shaded with a Tortillon just to get some basic gray color down, right? One of the other things I would do with the shading is to draw lines in the direction of the grain of the wood, for example, right? And you can do that with fur. Let me see, maybe. Because wood has a grain that is going to appear, okay? So you would draw the wood grain. If you were going to draw it, let's just say you're drawing a knot and you're going to use shading to depict that knot in black and white. think about how a tree grows, how the grain of a tree is. Can you see what I'm doing? It'd be like the rings of a tree. So, you know, that's also another way you can shade is either with the curve of your line very lightly in the background. It can be more pronounced like that, where I've actually drawn the rings of the tree. Your patio is going to be full of cement dust. There, I would just go out and tell them, you guys are going to clean up, right? I know Eileen is pissed she didn't get to. He does look like a pineapple, though. I will give her that. I mean, her imagination is actually quite accurate. But let me look back here. They'll clean it up. They will. Especially if they've been hired to come do something, they will clean it up. I promise you. They have to. Oh, maybe it's not in this book. It should be in this book. It's in the other one, I know. Here you go. Well, they're, in this case, they're doing value scales with all the different types of pencils. Depending on what I'm doing, I might get out some of my different pencils, but for the most part, I'm going to use a little bit hard lead and a real soft lead. And that's pretty much going to be my deal. And if I need real darks, I get out just the B pencil. But most drawing books, if you look at the beginning, they're going to give you shading techniques to do the little squiggles. I know the other book has it. Just pull this one out there. Not Linda Berry book. I am going to start messing in that Linda Berry book. I'm going to do this knitting one too. So someday we're going to do this knitting so that you guys can see texture. And this hair, I've actually done this hair on the actual doll. So those are really fun. I love those. But that's what I was telling you about with your shading. You can also depict texture of what you're drawing. See, this is fur, that's material. And CB was wanting to see shading with cross hatching. And this would be something good to work on, honestly. Cross hatching is just a series of lines all going one way and then lines going the other way. And depending on how much depth you want, I'll pull this down so maybe you can see better. Maybe I should use the darker lead. Anyway, what I did was just lines going one way, lines going the other way to create shadow. Now, if I want to make that lighter, I'm either going to decrease the pressure I put on my pencil or by the number of lines that I draw in that space. You should do more drawing things. Well, the pouting got her to art, so that's good. So yeah, I mean, you can do cross hatching like this, you know, where there's a lot of lines spread apart or very close together, where I'm putting more pressure on the pencil, right? I can put more pressure on that pencil. And create some pretty dark texture that way. And then if I want to come off that, just decrease the pencil, the pressure I'm putting on my pencil. That takes a lot of practice, though, I have to say. But I do like the appearance of cross hatching. And there are certain instances where I think cross hatching is really the best method to use. Yeah, the knitting is fun. It really is. I've done it before. I might have the sketchbook. Well, I don't remember where it is because I did a lot of this. Oh, I was going to show you too. Now this I want you to do this along with me because this will blow your mind. Because you've all seen melting crayons or drops of water or whatever, and you go, golly, that looks so hard to draw. I'm going to show you water droplets that you can draw so easy, you'll slap your mama, right? Yeah, CB, that's true. It's same thing with ink. It's the thickness or thinness of the lines and then what kind of spacing you use. You're feeling accomplished, Lynn? I wish you were here with me because I swear I would just hug you so hard and kiss you on the cheek. Are you loving your thing, Robert Vaughn?
My what?
Are you loving your thing?
Oh, I guess I haven't done anything with it. I've got the car cleaned up.
Oh.
The Kia.
Because I heard you pounding out there and I thought, oh, he's out there getting ready to put that bad boy right on.
I'm getting ready to put it on now.
Well, I didn't say if you get it on before dinner time, I'll let you buy me dinner somewhere.
Okay.
You should see the look on his eyes like, oh boy, what did I do to deserve this? Put water droplets on pineapple so he looks like he's being juiced. Oh my gosh. All right, I'll just do it on this page. All right. We'll do like a dewdrop of water first. So draw your circle, okay? Just a circle. That's all you need to do. I know, such a deal, right? Robert, you better say hello to sweet Eileen because you better say hello to sweet Eileen. They're saying hi, Robert. Amy said, Amy is here.
Amy?
Amy down the street, Amy.
She's on here?
Yeah,
Really?
she's at my
Cool.
stream today.
Good for her.
You better say hi.
Hey, sweet Eileen. And Amy.
And CB, who else?
CD, whoever else.
Zoe said hi, Robert. Hi, my sweet Robert. All right, now fragile. Jean just said hi, Robert. Okay, so if you've got your circle, I want you to draw a couple of ovals, say on the top of it. Doesn't matter where, just somewhere on the top, because that's going to be where your light is reflected. Okay. Now I want you to, this is going to be your darkest shadow. I want you up somewhat close to those circles. I want you to put a pretty dark shadow, much like a comma, because that's going to be your darkest shadow. Now, if you want to use a tortillon, fine. You could just use that much graphite now. Which would you, I don't know. I'll just go ahead and use the pencil in case somebody doesn't have the tortillon. And I did put on my glove because I'm going to be on top of this guy. And I guess I could bring my envelope back. Okay, I'm going to do it with just pencil this time. And I'm pretty close up so you can see. So I've got the two highlights on there. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I probably have that too dark. I was thinking I was going to use a tortillon, but that's okay. I'll erase part of it off if I have to. Now I want you to shade all around that. Leave your highlights, no graphite at all in your highlights. Smooth out your darkest one. And don't forget to leave a white edge along the bottom for your reflected light. Now with a light, I'm going to have to use the Tortelian. Where did I put my other one? I made that first shadow too dark. Where the heck is it? Ugh, getting frustrated. You want your highlights on this to really, really stand out because that's what makes a water droplet look like a water droplet. And then the reflected light back on it. So, and if it gets too dark, just use your kneaded eraser and pick up some of the graphite. I'm just going to pick up some off the whole thing because it's annoying the hell out of me right now. Now, around the outside of your circle, make the edge of your drop dark, right? Now go ahead around the entire circle. If you're looking down on it, see, I'm thinking that we're looking down on it because the highlights are at the top, but you could do it with just like it's sitting on a table like this, where you just put the shadow on the table. Or if you shadow all the way around it, it's going to look like you're looking down at it from above it. That's literally how easy a dewdrop is. If it's on the side of a glass, let's just say that's a bottle or something, and it's like that, do a dark shadow down here, make a highlight at the fattest part, do a dark highlight around that. And then just, I mean, you can either draw it in very lightly. I'm going to color it in with the Tortelian. I use this one. It's easier to erase. I obviously am partial to this one, I guess. I tried a new one. It didn't work for me. Lighten it up a little. Draw the edge pretty dark. With water and stuff like that, it's more the shadow around what you're drawing than the thing itself. I know that sounds crazy, but that's in fact true. Like that didn't look like a water bubble. Looks like a pearl. Yeah, and water bubbles are almost the exact same way of drawing it. because it's the shadow around it. And this, if it's hanging down off something, wouldn't have a shadow out here. But like when I did those crayons, it did create multiple shadows, right? Because it was laying in a pool of melted wax. So if it's dripping down off a bottle, then its cast shadow is going to be, or it's, yeah, going to be down here. And that literally is how easy water is. And Jean's streaming here in a little while. You're going to show your new stamps and dies, right? Paint that ball blue for Paul. You are so goofy. So there you go. And you can, I mean, honestly, I could sit and just jack around with this all day. I honest to God could, until I got it exactly right, just exactly right how I want it. Like that guy, I'll go back and work with his cleft chin. Now I've got my circle, not so circle anymore, but that's fine. So yeah, Jean will be streaming here in about 30 minutes. Well, 25 now. So I probably should let you guys go so you can go visit the pod people before Jean comes on. I have to go out and look at the rat's car topper. I don't know what color he ordered. He didn't ask me before he ordered it. And then when I heard he ordered it, I was like, why did you order that without talking to me? Okay, Amy. We'll keep in touch. Get feeling better, girl. That's all I care about. All right, so if you guys have any suggestions for what you want me to do next time, this was really just to, build you guys up some confidence so that when we take on tougher subjects, I'm going to remind you that you can do that because you did this. This probably was a really valuable. You tweeted Potato Head. Okay. But they're valuable lessons that as you build up your confidence and you feel like, oh, if I did that, I can do that, like really. And that's what I decided today was going to be all about, was just building up your confidence so that next time when we take on something bigger, you're not going to feel intimidated, because I think a lot of you are just intimidated at the thought of drawing because you just don't have the confidence. But when you prove to yourself that, yes, you can do it, don't tell me ever again that you can't do it, because you've already done it. Still waiting to see you draw Scooby-Doo. I know. Yeah, I know Eileen wasn't thrilled, but she probably did something fun all by herself and she got to badmouth me a little bit. So what's the downside to that? Huh? And she got to say hi to Sweet Robert. I'm gonna put the, I just looked down here and realized that the shadow, if the light is coming there, there should be much more shadow around his nose. So I'm going to correct that. So yeah, think about things that you might want to learn. Thank you, Teresa. You did, Jen. So yeah, think about things that you want to learn, things that you think are hard. I might think they're hard too, but yeah, just think about something you want to learn, and if I don't know how, we'll do our best to learn together. How about that? See, now I could just start goofing with him and probably goof the rest of the day. But I'm gonna have to go shower because I think Robert's gonna have to take me to dinner. I'm so uninterested in cooking these days. I am absolutely so uninterested. Flowers and the knitting, okay. Okay, wrote them down. Thanks, Scooby Girl. Okay, thanks, Kathy. I'll go take a look. That's what I'm going to do. Either convince Robert to take me out or start cooking here soon. Is there any other drawing books we can get? Oh, God, Zoe, there is so many drawing books. But honestly, to start out, the one book I would recommend highly to anybody is Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And if you like this type of drawing, Drawing for Dummies. But oh my God, there are millions out there, millions. So I'll try and see you guys at Jean's. Yeah, Jean just said the same thing. Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. It helps you as much as give you instruction, Zoe. It will change the way you think about drawing. You're making pretzel encrusted pork chops today. Shit, Robert would want to live with you. I'm not telling him that. I don't know how to get them is the thing. Well, Zoe, if you have a library nearby, I would honestly, the first place I would go is go check out your library and see what books they have. They always have drawing books in the library. Me too, Teresa. When can we be at your house, Eileen? Yeah, and otherwise Amazon. But the very first place I would look, in all honesty, is my library. I would get them for free before I decided to buy them. And another place I would look, I found some great art books at my used bookstore not very long ago. Yeah, me too, Kimberly. Really keep Jackie in your prayers. I'm so worried about her. I think they said it should be there by like Thursday or something. So anyway, we'll think of something we're going to draw the next time. So I'm out of here. See you later. Bye. Go potty before you go to Jean's. Adios.